In this nugget, we want to connect to the Juniper device and we want to explore the CLI modes of operation. We also want to see how we can get help when we're working with the Juniper device. There's a rich help system that you're really going to enjoy. The three modes that we're going to master in this nugget on the Juniper devices are the Unix shell, the operational mode, and the configuration mode. From a help perspective, we'll look at context-sensitive help as well as a powerful help command. As a little bonus in this particular nugget, we'll see some great shortcuts we can use at the CLI, and I'll give you a great reference on that. And we'll also see how we can use the pipe in order to filter output that's being displayed. In order to talk to your Juniper device, we have a console port on the device that we're going to connect our serial cable to. Now, you probably don't have a serial port on your laptop or your computer anymore, so one of the things that you can do is you can get an adapter for the other end of this cable so that you can connect to USB on your particular laptop, and that's what I'm doing for purposes of this class. Please note, though, that there are products available that will allow you to connect directly. For instance, here on Amazon, you can see a USB Juniper console cable. So one end of this cable connects to that console port, it's the RJ45 end, and the other end connects USB directly into your particular device. Also notice there's a big push now with network vendors, finally, for them to allow USB access in their devices. So more and more we'll see USB ports that we can connect to directly in order to manage the particular device. Now, of course, you also need some type of terminal emulator. You can use the hyperterminal built into Windows. You can use TerraTerm. You can use iTerm. You can use a whole variety of these terminal emulators. Here in TerraTerm, you can see I can go File, New Connection, and I would come down here to Serial, and I would select the serial port that is appropriate for my particular configuration. This is often COM4 if you are connecting with one of those adapters that I mentioned. So we have a serial cable coming from the console port. We have the USB adapter. We then connect that USB adapter to our laptop or PC, and then we choose COM4 here, and we make our connection to the Juniper device. Now, the specific terminal emulation settings that you need are given here. It's 9600 bits per second, it's 8 data bits, it's none for parity, it's stop bits 1, and it's flow control X on, X off. By no means do I want you to memorize these settings, but these are the settings that, for instance, hyperterminal would need to be set to. We don't have to mess with this in something like a TerraTerm because these are predefined. When you first log into your Juniper device, notice that you're going to be in the Unix shell. Now, I need you to memorize how we can immediately see we're there, and it's the prompt that communicates that information to you. So we can see this percentage sign right here. That's our clue that we're in that Unix shell mode. There are commands you could run here. Not many, but there are some basic troubleshooting commands that could be implemented or verification commands. One would be processes aux. Watch this, ps-aux. This will show us all of the processes running on this particular device and key information like CPU utilization and memory utilization. But with the limited command set, we don't stay in the Unix shell for long. What we want to do is we want to move from the Unix shell to our operational mode. How do we do that? A command we need to memorize, and that is CLI, the command line interface command. So we issue the CLI command, and notice what happens. We have a change in the prompt, don't we? We have this greater than sign, and that is our visual clue that we are in the operational mode. Now we can start to take advantage of the help system too, because in operational mode, one of the things that we love to do is use our show commands to verify parameters of this particular device. So I can do show interfaces. Notice the tab auto completion too when you're at the CLI. So I type show and then INT, hit the tab key on my keyboard, and interfaces is completed for me. I can now use my context sensitive help of the question mark to see what parameters that I could list after this show interfaces command. And notice there's quite a few particular parameters that we could add after this. So we could do like show interfaces detail or show interfaces diagnostics. And as we continue these commands, I'll do DIA tab to fill out diagnostics. I'll do another question mark, and we see there's another command we could use of optics. So I'll do OPT, hit tab, question mark again, and now it says, okay, you can hit enter to execute this command at this point, or you can add further parameters onto your show command. So powerful, powerful context-sensitive help in the operational mode that we enter with the CLI command, and we get visual verification that we're in this mode with that greater than prompt. And while verification and the careful monitoring of our Juniper devices is those are key things that we're going to be engaged in, inevitably we need to make configuration changes of the device. There's two ways to do this, and it leads to two references to this particular mode. You see, some will use the command configure. So they'll hit configure and they enter, notice, configuration mode. Notice the prompt change. When we're in configuration mode, we have a pound sign. A joke here is that we can really pound a configuration into this particular device at this point. But let me type exit to go back to our operational mode, and let's type edit. Notice edit takes us into configuration mode as well. So you'll hear some refer to it as edit mode, and they're obviously used to the edit command. You'll hear others refer to it as configuration mode because they're used to the configure command. I don't really care what you call it. I want you to be aware of both commands, configure and edit, and I want you to be aware of both modes, edit mode that some will say are configuration mode. They're one and the same, but they could be used interchangeably in your exam environment. Now in your Nugget Lab files, I'm going to place this Juniper quick reference for the CLI. You're going to love this document. It's going to remind us how we can control the CLI environment in operational mode. Notice there's set commands that we can utilize, like set CLI prompt in the string if we wanted to change it, set CLI screen length. Then there is command prompt sequences that we can utilize. This is really cool. And in fact, all of the information in this document is certification test relevant. So I'll make some flashcards for you and locate those in the Nugget Lab files that'll help you. Things like Control A in order to jump your cursor to the beginning of the command line, for instance. Then we have in this document some command completion information. We can use the tab key. We can use the space bar in order to auto-complete commands, as I've alluded to. And then even some commonly used operational mode commands that you'll want to take a look at. So I will include this document in the Nugget Lab files for you. Now, we certainly love that question mark, that context-sensitive help in the various modes of the Juniper device, just like we do in the Cisco iOS. But something that's going to perhaps blow your mind a bit is the help command that we have available with Juniper. Check this out. So I'm going to say help, and then I'll say question mark. So we're using the context-sensitive help here with the help command. Kind of fun. And notice there's the ability to use the help command to do some pretty cool things. Like, how about a tip of the day? Look at this. Help, tip, and then I can choose question mark, and you see that we can get a tip of the day about the CLI. And notice it says, today's tip, use the display inheritance CLI pipe to show where configuration groups are inherited. So we have filtering and piping that we can do on this particular device. So for instance, I could go show system and I could do pipe, and then we can see the options that we can have for trimming or just showing certain information about the configuration, for instance. So show system display set would show me all of the set commands that had been issued in that particular portion of the configuration hierarchy. It wasn't the exact tip they gave us, was it? But they reminded me about the pipe for powerful filtering options at the CLI, and I wanted to show you that. You are responsible for that in a certification environment as well. So help, tip of the day, pretty cool. Help, syslog would allow us to see information about system log error messages. There's reference material or help on topics. Look at this, it's amazing. I can say help topic BGP clusters because I'm really struggling to understand this, for instance. And looks like I've got an error there. And notice, by the way, that's part of the help system. It's showing me exactly where I have a syntax error. So I'll do my context-sensitive help here, and it's cluster, not clusters. Okay, that's where I went wrong. So help topic BGP cluster, and it says, okay, here is information for you about BGP route reflection. And look at this, it's a book. It's just awesome information about this particular feature available for us right at the command line. So help ? See the different ways in which you can utilize this powerful help command at a Juniper device. Now, while these are pretty self-explanatory, there is one that I want to elaborate on, and that is help apropos. What does this mean? It means in reference to. So I could say help apropos, and I could say Ike. And it says, okay, we'll find all of the commands that reference Ike for you thanks to your use of help apropos. So an awesome help system available for us on the Juniper device. So it seems like such a simple nugget, the modes at the CLI and the help system on the Juniper device. But we saw an incredible amount of information that could be tested of you in a certification environment. My flashcards for this particular nugget will be critical. Remember, they're located in the Nugget Lab files for you. We have to master the ins and outs of the different modes, how we navigate between them, the help system, display filtering with the pipe options. Lots of incredible information here, including the navigational shortcuts. I sure hope this nugget was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.